This is big as we have a major new Suns trade update revolving around the Suns as trade rumors have been escalating with this team in center Yusuf Nurkic as his name has been thrown on the trade block with the new update revolving around some potential names and suitors revolving around Nurkic. We're going to be diving in and looking at some key upgrades the Suns could be making to help bolster this center roster. We'll be diving into all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you guys had a great holiday. We have been cranking out videos over here on the channel. And you guys have been absolutely fantastic in showing your love and support, hitting the like button, hitting that subscribe button, dropping down your comments. So keep on doing that, and we'll be pumping out these great videos for you. And I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Without further ado, let's dive into the video at hand. Make sure to grab a snack. And like I said in the introduction, we're going to be going over some new trade updates as we've seen some recent news come out over the last 48 hours revolving around the Suns. And in yesterday's video, we broke down the multiple trade updates revolving around Jimmy Butler and Yusuf Nurkic coming out from Dwayne Rankin. But we got some updated information as well, courtesy of Evan Cedary. And if we want to dive in, he wrote about this for Forbes, where he obviously broke down the report yesterday that we mentioned, which was according to Dwayne Rankin of the Arizona Republic, the Suns are actively shopping Yusuf Nurkic, hoping to find a deal before the February 6th trade deadline. Since the summer, Phoenix has been open to trade Nurkic, a league source confirmed to Forbes Sports. And we've been breaking this down and covering this all off season, obviously dating to the beginning, where there were rumors that the Suns were willing to trade their first round pick attached with Yusuf Nurkic to make some upgrades. And the market for Yusuf Nurkic was non existent then. And with Nurkic's lackluster play this season and dealing with injuries, his market is basically shrunken now even more, and it's made it even more difficult for the Suns specifically, as they are a second apron team. And this has been apparent to Phoenix as he has been that they're missing an athletic defensive fluid center in a place of a Nurkic's playable style. And this far, the advanced metrics prove that Nurkic isn't much on the court value to the Suns' overall success, as Nurkic on the court has played 545 minutes for the Suns with a 110 offensive rating, a 115 defensive rating, and a negative 4.6 net rating. Whereas with Nurkic off the court, the Suns have played a total of 300 more minutes, in which they've had they are better offensively by 4 points, 114, better, a little bit better defensively at a 114 defensive rating, and with a net rating of negative zero point 0.1, which goes to show you not only has Nurkic been unsuccessful to sustain himself on the court for the Suns, but even when he's playing with the Suns, he is not being a valuable asset for this Suns team. So ultimately, the trade speculation and the market needs to be taken as the Suns survey the trade market to find a taker for Nurkic. It's important to remember their apron rules that directly impact them, which is obviously that with being them in the first and second apron, Phoenix is unable to combine salaries together while also not taking back more money than they give out in any deal, while added to the fact they can only do one-for-one trades. And in attempting to find a trade partner, keep an eye on some rebuilding situations willing to take on his large salary in exchange for draft picks. The Nets, the Pistons, the Blazers, and Wizards are all in the building as potential teams willing to facilitate Nurkic's exit from Phoenix. Ironically enough, three of those options have attainable big men to replace their current starter: Isaiah Stewart from Detroit, Robert Williams from Portland, and Jonas Valanciunas from the Wizards. So like we mentioned, hit the wrong button. Like we mentioned, and like we've broken down on this channel before, Nurkic has been a net negative for the Suns this season, and fans, including myself, have been screaming from the top of our lungs that a trade is needed to be made for a defensive rim protector. And like obviously Evan has said, there are some potential names that could be available for the Suns. Difficulty is obviously what they're going to get, and are these teams seeing any value in Nurkic? As we want to look at the Suns salary cap, we obviously know Nurkic is making around $18 million this season. He's making it for 2 seasons. So if a team is to acquire Nurkic, they're taking on his $18 million this year and next season. That's why it's going to be teams with rebuilding, teams that have salary cap space that are willing to be able to make these moves. And we might not see a Nurkic trade happen late until free agency due to the fact that some of these teams are still restricted with some of these contracts. Like the Nets still have Cam Johnson. They still have Dorian Finney-Smith. Once they're able to move off of contracts like that, they might be able to facilitate a deal with taking Yusuf Nurkic for a little bit less for the Suns in a three-team deal or something like that. They also might be able to work a deal with the Pistons or the Wizards if they free up some cap space. If the Pistons are still looking, the Pistons have some cap space, but if they're still looking to, trade out some salary and take back some more salary, they could facilitate a trade over the Wizards, look to move off of Valanciunas, Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Poole even. Those are contracts that could free them cap space to allow to take a player like Yusuf Nurkic. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section about all this Yusuf Nurkic drama. But next, we're going to dive into some potential moves involving Yusuf Nurkic, which we've already kind of broken down, kind of looked at some three potential names, but we also have some other names as well I think the Suns could realistically use. And if we want to look back at this list, courtesy of Evan Cedery, we can see that the names that he has mentioned, obviously, Isaiah Stewart as a name that I've mentioned multiple times on here. I think he would be a fantastic defensive rim protecting big. Only problem is he is a little undersized at 6'8", but and pairing him alongside KD could be a little bit difficult, but I still think he'd be a solid center and could be a guy that could be a starter for now, but could be a guy where if Oso is your true starting center that you do believe in developing in the future, could overpass a player in Isaiah Stewart in a couple of seasons, and where Isaiah Stewart could be a suitable bench big for you for the future, or you could slot him in back into the power forward, similar to what the Pistons have been doing. Look at another center in Robert Williams. He's also dealt with some injuries, but this year has been able to stay consistently healthy so far. If we want to knock on some wood here, it has been exactly what the Suns need: a lob threat, a shot blocker, a rim protector, that defensive impact piece. Ultimately, the Blazers as well have a logjam of centers with Duop Reith, who doesn't even get playing time, DeAndre Ayton, Donovan Clingan, their new draft pick, and with them wanting to play Clingan and have Clingan be their one of their centerpieces of the future, I do believe a tradable piece in Robert Williams could be moved. But will they want to take a player in Yusuf Nurkic, specifically Yusuf Nurkic, back to Portland? That's a question to be asked. And Jonas Valanciunas with the Washington Wizards, I could see him being a solidable replacement. The only question is with the Wizards and his deal being $9 million, there are going to be multiple teams going after a player in Jonas Valanciunas, and I do believe that some other franchises could have better options or offers than Yusuf Nurkic, possibly with some draft picks for the Wizards. So ultimately, I think out of those three names, I feel like Isaiah Stewart could be the most attainable for the Suns, then Robert Williams, then Jonas Valanciunas. But let me know what you guys, ultimately think down below in the comment section. But if we want to look at some more names on this list, got a big list down here. Zach Collins is one that I want to mention from the San Antonio Spurs, as Charles Bassey has kind of replaced him, and he has been a little bit of a question mark in the San Antonio roster per se. And I think a player like him could be a valuable asset for the Suns. Also, another one as well is Goga Batazde, who's been a defensive menace for the Magic. The only thing that I think limits this for the Suns kind of going out and getting a player like Goga is due to the fact that the Magic just lost Mo Wagner due to a ACL injury, and Goga and Mo Wagner are those defensive impactful bigs for this Magic team. So with them losing one of their key ones, I don't see them trading their other. But I ultimately do think the Suns desperately do need a center upgrade. And players like Valanciunas, players like Robert Williams, players like Zach Collins, Isaiah Stewart could be those key impact pieces who necessarily right now don't take us over the top, set us up for the best future, right? But ultimately could be a better stepping stone for this season. And then next year in the future, with Oso Ogudaro getting better, with Ryan Dunn getting better, with KD signing this extension, with a possible move with Beal in the future, this Suns team could realistically build a championship contender, and then going into next season could even make more plausible moves around the edges to then ensure themselves competing for a top 3 seed in the West. But let me know what you guys ultimately think down below in the comment section. The Nurkic stuff is necessarily new, and it is needed to happen, as Suns fans have been preaching from the top of the rooftops. Like myself, a deal needs to be done. So let me know what you guys ultimately think. Who are some possible centers that you guys would like to see brought back? Like we mentioned, if the Suns are trading Nurkic, they're going to want another big man back. So that's why I think players like Williams, Stewart, Collins, Valanciunas could be those key replacements. Another one is Capella, but obviously with the second aprons, they're unable to get him now. But if they are able to do a Butler deal and follow under those aprons, a deal for Capella, I think would be a great one as well. But ultimately, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section, how you guys ultimately feel. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.